October 10th, on a Sunday morning. I'd gotten up early in the morning. I just went downstairs and messed around a little bit and had this premonition that had come over me. Then I had this smell that came inside my head. It was not a bad smell. It was kind of like a chemical, maybe medicine-y kind of smell that came inside my head. And felt a little nauseous because I was worried about, that maybe something had happened to our son. And then, after 25, 30 seconds, it had passed.
The initial reaction to what he was telling me, I honestly thought maybe his blood sugar was dropping. So I wasn't sure. But he was fine the rest of that day.
And then Monday morning I had another episode. I'm a truck driver. I left to go to St. Louis that morning, and then had some more episodes on the road, and called her, and she said, well, you got to go see a doctor.
That scared me. He was away from home. I couldn't see him. I had no idea how he was actually feeling. To talk to him, he was coherent. He knew what was going on, but you could hear there was a fear in his voice. I didn't take it too seriously after the first one. After he had the second one, I told him then that he needed to see a doctor. Something was not right. Just gut instinct, something was not right. We went together to see Dr. Staley. Really didn't know what to expect. They did the preliminary exam. That was fine, and he ordered, by the symptoms that Keith had told him, he ordered the MRI for the following day.
What he had told me, that the smell inside my head was called an olfactory hallucination. And basically all that we knew from that visit was that was it. And then of course then he would know more after the testing and stuff.
At that point, I was terrified. I knew he was thinking there was something there, but we still had no idea what that was.
Yeah, and we got home about an hour after the imaging. We got home, and then Dr. Staley had called us and told us that there was something there. He'd seen some swelling on the right temporal lobe on my brain, and looked like there, could be a tumor there. It was very scary. I don't know how to describe it other than just a lot of fear, because I guess fear of the unknown.
To have Dr. Staley call and say that Keith may have a brain tumor was terrifying to me. Initial shock, it's just like a wave comes over you. You don't know, you go numb. It's just a numbing feeling. Still hard to accept.
Monday morning, Dr. Staley and Dr. Tolentino came into the room, and both of them had looked over the imaging, and Dr. Staley said there was a tumor there, and then we had talked to Dr. Tolentino, and he told us what all would probably need to be done with this type of tumor, and he had consulted with some other of his colleagues, and they didn't want it to get any closer to my brainstem than what it already had.
When Dr. Tolentino walked in the room at that time, I knew down deep that we were not going to go anywhere else. He is one of the best surgeons in the country. I had heard that from more than one person, and we were where we needed to be, and we knew that we had the best in there with us right then. Tuesday, they took him down around 12:30. Surgery was around 2. Always in the back of my mind, I was scared to death. The main thing I was thinking is he's not going to come out of surgery. I was nervous the whole day, and it was wonderful having all the family and friends that we had there.
And Dr. Tolentino he had during the surgery had always kept her and all the family informed.
They did keep me informed, and as soon as the surgery was over, Dr. Tolentino came out with a nurse and told us that everything, went well. It was going to be a little while before we got to actually see him, but everything went exactly how he thought it would go. Whenever the nurses came out and told us that we could go back into ICU and see him, I could have ran. We got back in there. It was my daughter and my son and I that went back there. We went in and he was still sleeping, but he was kind of coming to. He was having terrible muscle spasms in his hips. So when that happened, he was trying to get up. He was going to try to walk it off. So a couple of nurses came in right away, and Dr. Tolentino was there, and he came in. So they gave him some more meds, got him where he was just completely knocked out, so that he couldn't move because he was going to get up and walk. But at that point, Dr. Tolentino said he could see. He could tell he could see at that point. He was alert enough that, so we knew he had movement on both sides of his body. Because he was trying to get out of bed, and he was looking at everything around him and talking to them. So we knew at that point those were some good signs, even though it was a bad experience. We got to the hospital Wednesday morning, probably about 6:30. Waited till we could go back in to see him, and Dr. Tolentino was there with him at that point. And I have to say, the night before, when he was still there with having the muscle spasms, and even after they got him where he was knocked out, Dr. Tolentino stayed at the hospital, and he kept coming out and telling me every 10-15 minutes what was going on with him at that time.
When I woke up and I was, I ate the omelet that morning for breakfast, I felt good. I felt, there was no fear then, because I felt good. I thought, well, everything's going okay.
He was in a good mood that morning. They sent an occupational therapist in to do the testing. He was eating breakfast that morning. He sat in the chair. Just amazing to me that fast from the night before, how everything had changed, and that fast he was up and alert, awake, he was talking. It was just amazing, absolutely amazing to me.
When you have something like this, it just changes your whole outlook on life. And sometimes the things we take for granted, you really notice a lot more.
Our faith is very strong. It has strengthened immensely through this whole process. We have a wonderful support system. We have wonderful friends. We have a wonderful family. So many people here for us.
You just appreciate things so much more now that I've been given this chance to be here, and it's been a miracle to feel as well as I have, and to come out of surgery and not lose any of my bodily functions. I've had no memory loss. I've talked to some of my friends that I haven't talked to for several months the other day, and asked me how I was doing, and talked to them and said, well, you're the same old Keith we talked to the last time. And my personality hasn't changed, so it's just been a miracle. Just been a miracle.